Hello, welcome to the Pulse of the Heartland podcast. This is week 12. We're missing a couple guys, but we have a special guest with us this evening. Hello, Dylan.
What's up?
You sound beautiful. It's amazing.
Much better than last week. We don't talk about last week.
Yeah, we're just
gonna
forget about that. It was great to have you on first time. You always got to get figured out. So.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're missing our usual host, so I'm filling in. This is Clark. My voice is a little raspy, but we're working with it. Trent is got some work stuff going on. So, Bryant, do you want to hit us with the socials?
Yes, sir. Instagram, Twitter at Heartland Pulse, Facebook, YouTube. You can just search Pulse of the Heartland, and new starting tonight, Twitch at Heartland Pulse.
Yes, got that set up. Dylan gave us some encouragement to launch on that platform. So, new to you, you can find us on Twitch.
And I'm sure you'll start seeing Clark's pretty face doing some streaming on there too.
Yeah, I play a lot of Call of Duty. Me and Bryant, we were just rolling in DMZ last night. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, right now we have Monday Night Football going on. We're talking NFL this podcast. So, Steelers versus at the Colts. Here it's going on. Steelers are currently up by
13
points. So,
Yep.
What are you drinking tonight, there, Dylan?
It was gonna be coffee, but I couldn't find any, so hot cocoa.
Ooh, nice. What about you, Ryan?
So I'm being kind of a jerk tonight, I guess. Not really a jerk, but does anybody remember? I don't know, a handful of years or so ago, Aaron Rodgers really snarky after beating the Vikings, going with the Purple Crush there. Well, I'm going with some of Wisconsin's famous Spotted Cow.
I thought you were about to break out the Gatorade lime cucumber or cucumber lime.
No, I'm hitting them where it hurts. The only state in the union you can get Spotted Cow. I'm going after their heart.
Would you say Spotted Cow is overrated?
Yeah, 100%. It's 100% a marketing thing. You can't get it outside the state of Wisconsin. It's good. I'll say for a light beer, it is actually pretty decent. But to say it's overrated is a very small understatement, really.
Yeah, because that's can't get it in Iowa. I bought cases of it because we can't. Okay, yeah, you have one or two, and you go, okay. You know, it's been years since I've had one, but it was just always just like first couple times it was the novelty, of it. Oh yeah, it's awesome, and then eventually you're just like, okay, just another beer that I can't buy. So even if I enjoy it, I'm not going to drive there. So it's what it is.
I went to Milwaukee a few years ago for some GE training, and that was all people talked about was, oh my gosh, you can get Spotted Cow over in Milwaukee. You have to get Spotted Cow, and I'm like, okay, I'll get Spotted Cow. I got Spotted Cow, and it's all right. It's fine, but it's a marketing ploy. That's all it is.
Yep. Agreed.
Well, Bryant, do you have any beverage this evening?
A little old agua.
Same.
Out of my mug night glass to really piss my younger self off. I used to be drinking out of that 3 times a week, not water, and now it's just I gotta stay hydrated, dude.
Yeah. Well, this week was Thanksgiving. Stayed hydrated, ate some good food, celebrated some family. It was a good time.
You guys made some damn good looking birds this last Thursday.
Oh, yeah. Good turkey. I cooked 2 of those bad boys, a couple 17-pound turkeys. They one on Thanksgiving, one on Saturday. Just you gotta cut that spine out and lay it down flat. It cooks so good that way.
That's the only way to cook it.
Oh, yeah. Which, new to the smoking zone, Bryant, you got yourself a Pit Boss.
Yes, sir. I got the probably the smallest model they make. It's I believe it's a Pit Boss. I think it's like Sportsman 260. They always got to have a fancy number and make it sound fancy. It's one of those small ones that you can fold down and bring it to like a tailgate. But I mean, hell, you could probably fit like solidly 2 racks of ribbons, got a small shelf for a little indirect heater or just to keep it warm in there. But yeah, I used that on Saturday for the first time. It was actually pretty fun.
Nice. Well, I'm gonna go to Dylan here. Dylan, so this podcast, we all have smokers. We love to smoke us some meats and other delicious side dishes and whatnot. Are you a barbecue man?
Love eating it. Don't cook it.
There's always a time to begin.
Yeah, I'm sure it's soon.
Well, so
Even
this week,
Tennessee, I mean, Tennessee's all about the barbecue, isn't it?
Oh, Nashville is for sure. Actually, more Memphis, but
Memphis, yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. I don't live close to Memphis, so.
Yep. Well, we can hear you nice and clear this evening, Dylan. How about you reintroduce yourself to everybody?
Perfect. So my name's Dylan, and I met the guys here actually through, weirdly enough, Reddit, and we kind of connected there. And I told them that I was starting up a sports media company, and I was looking for people like them. And we kind of hit it off, and we kind of stumbled forward. I guess the best word stumbled, because not everything's gone to exact plan, but I do own a company called In the Zone Media, and these guys are a part of it, a great part of it. They've been a big help in every aspect. But yeah, is there anything you guys want me to cover, talk about?
I guess
Questions?
generally, what are you looking forward to do with this company? What are you looking for more people for it? Any help with anything, websites, social media, anything like that?
Always looking for more people. It's never a bad thing to have your company grow. I don't think that's a bad idea to do. We're looking for some people to help on the website part of things, a little bit of the designing, but also to post, because there's tons of articles that we want to do, but there's only it takes a little bit of time to get the articles posted. So looking for people for that. And then always we're looking for more people with the media side of things, and definitely more writers. We want to expand into new sports. Like, it's prime hockey season right now, prime basketball season right now. So we want to kind of start expanding into those areas as well.
Yeah, there's been some awesome articles on the website. I know Jordan Zachman putting some stuff out. We got some coverage on WWE and the wrestling world. Looks great. And the best power rankings available are from In the Zone.
Darn right. Most accurate power rankings. That's
right.
We need to get and joining for NHL there, Clark.
I know. We're all busy. We have schedules, we have lives. We're fitting this in. We're making it happen when we can. We do what we can. And there was a really dark stretch where the Blues went 0-8, and you just kind of didn't want to talk about it. So, but we're past that. We're past that now.
We're just gonna move on with it.
That's right.
People don't try to go dark when their teams aren't doing well. This doesn't happen.
No, not at all.
So last Thursday was Thanksgiving. It was the John Madden Thanksgiving celebration. We're going to talk Week 12 football here. Who tuned in? I mean, I was stuffed. I was enjoying the games.
I saw the first and third game.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would say I feel like the second game, everyone was traveling at that point, or just sleeping from the turkey.
Funny enough, it was the most viewed game in NFL history.
Yeah. Smash ratings.
I'm baffled by that, but
it's hard to change the channel when you're asleep on the couch.
It's true. It wasn't that good of a game, to be honest. I mean, yeah. I think it was the best set of Thanksgiving games we've had in a while.
They were good.
They were all close.
The person was.
Frankly, I'm glad that they forced one of these Cowboys Giants games on Thanksgiving. I'm okay with it doing it, but I hate it every year. It's like at least one Monday night football game you have to suffer through. Either one or both of those teams have kind of been garbage the last decade. At least this year, both of them are competent. And like you said, of course, that's the one game I missed, though. Well, actually, I missed the Vikings game too. But I'm glad they used it on Thanksgiving.
And I mean, it's nice actually seeing a Lions team that is actually in the game.
Yeah,
I don't mind it. Like, to be honest, for Detroit, that's a win for them. Even though it's not a win in the actual the win column, being that close at coming down to the final few seconds, that's a win for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's talk about that game.
Okay.
So, Bills in quotes here squeaked out that win.
That was a squeaking. That was a squeaking.
I was a squeak.
Because I would say, didn't the Lions have a 25 something lead like late, and then the Bills pulled it out right after? Okay.
If I look by, let's see here.
I believe so. It really could have
But,
been anyone's game. It really could have been.
Yeah. Nope, I agree. I know we mentioned in here, and we'll get to it a little bit. You know, the Von Miller injury happened late in the game, which kind of sucks. I'm not really sure. I bet you a lot of it was the travel that affected the Bills here and why it was, so close. But we kind of talked about last week. Why wouldn't they have just stayed in Detroit and not had to deal with at least a day's worth of travel to and from, or 2 days worth, making it all work? I'm not too worried. Like you said, this is kind of the Lions game every week. Hey, we're going to score a lot more points than you expect, and then we're going to let our opponent score 3 more points.
Yeah.
Are they in trouble though with Von Miller hurt? Because the AFC is tight. The AFC is really tight, and they've just lost their best defensive player. Now I think they're getting. Was Poyer back, or he is coming back? I guess
He was back. He was playing in that last game.
He was back. So Poyer's back. But it's not like they have a huge lead when it comes to. They don't have their division at the moment. It's not like they have a huge lead for a wild card. So they could be in trouble if they drop a couple games.
Yeah, they brought in Von Miller to be their defensive closer, the guy to get the big play when they need it at the end of the game. And now he's going to be unavailable for that. So they're kind of back where they're at last year. I mean, they're still competitive. They're still going to be good, but do they have that edge now?
This team just doesn't seem like the powerhouse everyone thought they were going to be this season. They seem a lot more vulnerable than what I myself, they were my prediction to win the AFC. And right now, I don't see anybody. I don't think there's any team in the AFC that looks like they can contend with Kansas City. They just look way more vulnerable than what I was expecting beginning of the season.
I think the big thing that makes them look vulnerable right now is how dominant their division is. I mean, Dolphins, Bills, Jets, Patriots combined, they have 16 points. They have 29 wins combined, the 4 teams. I mean, they play in a tough division compared to the Chiefs, who have 9 wins. Then they have the Chargers at 6, and then the Raiders and Broncos are there as well with 7 combined wins. So I mean, I think it's just
that's what we thought the AFC was going to be this year.
Exactly right. So I think it's just, excuse me. I think it's a little bit more the division. I honestly, now that you say that, with not having Von Miller, that's going to be the difference in them even getting the, hosting a game potentially in the playoffs, because the Dolphins, they're starting to heat up again. Well, actually, I just say they did their job that they needed to this weekend, but can the Bills get past oddly enough, can the Bills get past the Dolphins now that Tua and all of them look pretty legit?
I'm trying to think I'm looking what the Dolphins schedule coming up is. I mean, they've got the Bills, they've got the Chargers. They should be able to beat the Chargers. The Bills on the 18th, the Packers, the Patriots, and the Jets. I think they could actually win out, to be honest. But
one of those is just going to be a game where they just underestimate.
They could win out, or they could lose all of them.
Realistically, yeah.
This is the NFL.
But don't forget, there's also a small chance they could tie also, Clark. Let's just throw all the combinations.
That's true.
We can't be wrong at that point.
We've only had one of those this year, and that was week 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colts and Texans.
Yeah.
Yep. Almost had one this week. Close.
I'm just
very
not
close.
Going to, I'm just not going to discount the Bills yet. But yeah, I think everyone thought at this point they'd be 10-1, maybe 9-2, and 8-3 is not bad. But when you have an 8-3 team that has a tiebreaker over you and a 7-4 right on your ass too, that's scary.
Yeah, and then AFC, that is good.
The Patriots aren't out of it either.
No.
Out of it,
they're not.
They're hungry. Well, so yeah. Bills got the ball back with 23 seconds to drive the field and kick a field goal to win, get out of Detroit with that W. Detroit, more importantly, does cover. Thank you for the money. Love it. Moving on. Game number 2 was the Giants at the Cowboys, and nobody watched this game.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
I think Giants, you did a fantastic job at a garbage time cover, so thank you very much for that. That was about all I saw or needed to see about that.
That was my favorite part of the game.
It sounded to me like Dak wasn't terribly great on that game. So it's like, why was he the best quarterback ever against the Vikings, and the following week he's just so
Just
makes me
terrible.
sad. Whatever.
Mhm.
I think New York's defense is pretty legit, honestly.
Yeah.
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 Right
I
now.
mean, Dak was 21 for 30 with 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, no sacks, but
I'm going to look it up real quick. I'm assuming the Giants controlled the time of possession too, where they ate up a little more time than because then the Vikings they just have a bunch of 3 and outs as well.
Yes. Our
I'm
punter
going-
should have been player of the week there. I don't know why he wasn't.
He's okay. I love Ryan Wright, but there's sometimes he just has a dud. There's just sometimes
Yeah,
where he
and
punts
he
out.
had
Oh, it was bad.
he had one against Dallas that it probably went 20 yards maybe.
Yeah, looking at it, Cowboys actually maintained time of possession 34 minutes to 26 for the Giants, but Dallas had 2 turnovers. So I don't know. I think that was just a very, very big fluke game versus the Vikings the week before. But like you said, when you ride such a high like that, you almost seem to always get humbled the following week.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'd still have to say with the Vikings, the Cowboys are probably the last team I'd want them to see first round in the playoff.
Micah Parsons, I'd never want to see him in the playoffs.
They're about the only team I don't want to see in the playoffs.
Philadelphia's looking vulnerable now. They really are. I feel like the code's been cracked on that one. Cowboys they scare me. I wish they didn't, but they do.
I think it will happen to where Zeke sells a game and they're going to start having internal problems. And honestly, looking at the schedule,
hopefully.
they have the AFC South the next 4 out of their last 6 games. Realistically, Dallas wins out unless the Eagles put up a scare. And the Commanders don't look terrible.
Washington's looking good. Washington's solid. I think I put on here they might be the hottest team in the NFL right now, and they're still waiting to get Chase Young back.
Chase Young, Trey Turner, Cole Holcomb. Which Holcomb just went on IR, so.
No. All right. Well, how about the late game with the Vikings?
the best
I
game of
never
the night.
Never had so many heart attacks, but was not scared though. I don't know.
Taking this game or the season in general.
Yes.
For me, I feel like this was probably their most important win of the season. They didn't necessarily dominate the game, but it was one of those where it felt like they were missing Dalvin Tomlinson, their best run stopper. We were playing our 5th string cornerback. We were missing our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string cornerbacks. So we are hurting. We're missing Darisaw, our pro level left tackle. And their rush is supposed to be as good, if not better, than Dallas's. And we did pretty decently against them this week. We really did.
Judon had one move up the middle.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yes, Cousins had it seemed like enough time to really. I mean, you give prime time Kirk Cousins a lot of crap, but he had a solid outing. 300 yards, 30 out of 38, I believe. He had 1 bad interception, but three good touchdowns, and there were a lot of passes to Jefferson where I was like, I don't know how this happened, how he made this connection, but
third quarter, 3rd or 4th
Cousins,
quarter, the one that he threw right over, near the end zone. Yeah.
Yep. Well, and then there was another one where it was in the middle of the field, but there were 2 people right on Jefferson, and it was just, I mean, there were some awesome throws. I feel like them coming off of a big dominance, just getting blown out of their own stadium so bad where the news or the cable network changes to another game, and to come back from that and beat Bill Belichick's team, I think this was probably their most important win of the season.
Yeah, if they lost this game had bigger implications for the Patriots because they needed to win to stay in the playoff picture. But this game meant more to the Vikings to win coming off of that blowout.
And I just love how post game you can see that the players love playing for each other and playing for O'Connell. It's just I love this team. I love watching this team. I really do.
Agreed. They are amazing.
So a solid win in prime time. Kirk Cousins gets it done. Vikings get a W on Turkey Day.
Thielen didn't look bad either.
No,
He had that one reception in the first quarter where he just turned and ran into the guy. But other than that,
yeah.
Wasn't
I enjoyed
terrible.
the end. Kirk Cousins was enjoying the hell out of the turkey, and the other guys are like, "This is well, I guess Thielen's like, "This is nasty," and spits it out. And
That was
Cousins is
so
there,
good.
just, "Oh, this is great, guys."
Jefferson wasn't going to eat it. I wonder if
Yeah.
Jefferson even took a bite of that.
He has grills in. He can't eat turkey with grills in. Pat Pete came and stole a leg, though.
Deserved. That tackle in bounds was good.
Yeah,
He might
that
have-
was smart playing.
Now, I was just looking up some stats just so I had some info on it. Does it concern you with Mac Jones throwing for that many yards in that game?
I mean, obviously, yeah.
If it weren't, I'm going to put it down to the fact that we had our fifth string DBs playing. That's what I'm. Our best run stopper is out. He should be back. Once we get a Caleb Evans back, that should make a huge difference because we were up until the Dallas game, the defense was improving. And then same thing last week. We had Booth playing, and he was terrible. He was our fourth string, and he was terrible. And
He's done for the
I'm
season.
guessing Duke shut it. Yeah, he's gone. He's done for the season now. So yeah, once we get Evans, I don't know what Cam Dantzler's status is. I have no clue what's going on with him.
I thought he was close to returning.
Yeah, so once Dantzler comes back and Evans, I think we'll be fine again. But yeah, that's why this to me is such a huge win that we were so thin at such an important position, and we made Mac Jones look like a fantastic quarterback, which he isn't, and we were still able to pull off the win. The offense was able to actually win a shootout game. That was big.
And New England didn't run the ball really good. They had 13 carries for 45 yards.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that we actually outrushed them, which is
And we
both
didn't
teams
rush well at all.
Cook had 1.9 yards per carry.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is abysmal. But
Yeah.
And it looks like he was spreading the ball out as well. I mean, he had 6 receivers with multiple catches. The lowest, yardage for any player was 36 yards with Bourne there. And then Parker on the Patriots, he had 4 receptions for 80 yards. So everyone was in between. He was just dinking and ducking, so you couldn't just focus on the Justin Jefferson if you're, if you're playing against the Vikings or something. So it's kind of hard, that's where sometimes, Mahomes he dinks and dunks it around to multiple people. It's hard to, like last year, I think where we struggled is everyone goes, Tyreek Hill, Kelsey, and then we don't have to focus on anyone else. And that kind of shuts down a little bit. With a game like that, it's when they're just going everywhere, it's makes it a little difficult. But no, I mean, and that's a sign of a good team. If you can have that many people kind of on fire that are catching the ball consistently and you can still win, that's a good win for you.
And here's the thing I love is we have Jefferson, who isn't really a selfish player. With Diggs, you had to worry about getting the ball enough times to him to keep him happy, whereas Jefferson seems like a team first type guy. And so you don't have to worry about him getting his catches. He'll get his. I mean, he was double and triple teamed, which is why Thielen got his touchdown in the end zone there. But he's still getting his yards that he needs or wants, whatever, not necessarily needs. But it's really a full team this time. It's a team effort. It's nice. We have the Jets up next. The Jets are legit. We'll talk about them later with Mike White coming in. I mentioned it last week. I said with this 4-game stretch, if we go 2-2, I'll be extremely happy. We're 2-1. Already got the 2 wins. Stole one out of Buffalo. Don't want to talk about Dallas. And now we beat the Patriots, which they're a solid team too. So we'll see what we can do with the Jets. If we're healthy,
that will be a tough one.
Yeah, we got this mini bye. Hopefully we can get healthy.
we can, if we play like we did in this game offensively, I don't think we can lose a shootout game. The struggle is the second, third, fourth, and sometimes the fifth drive of the day. Kevin O'Connell's scripting for the first drive of the game is the best in the NFL. We're first in points scored and we're first in touchdowns on the first drive.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the second, third, fourth, and fifth, we kind of struggle for some reason. That's what gets us. That's why these games are so close. It's not because these teams are better than us and we're having to come back. It's because we're forcing ourselves to play from behind, which a win's a win. But if we play better in the second, third, and fourth, and fifth, we'd be a lot better.
And hopefully, as a first-year coach, he's still trying new things, experimenting, and come playoff time, he'll settle down with that and actually have a full game script there. But yeah, you're right. That is where we're terrible at.
And that's what's putting our defense in such a tough spot too. I mean, I don't like Ed. I don't like our defensive coordinator. He's not good.
Him and his shell defense. No,
he'll be fired this year. I don't think there's any doubt to that. But
when we start blitzing and putting pressure on the QB, we do awesome. But we don't start blitzing until fourth quarter.
When we don't drop Hunter back into coverage, we play great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
there's no reason Danielle Hunter should ever be back in coverage.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's not going to work. And Harrison Smith can still do stuff.
Yeah,
Harrison Smith worries. Smith does worry me in coverage sometimes, and so does Kendricks. Kendricks is starting to get like that for me. He had some bad plays on Thursday, but the defense played good enough to win. So
yeah, and hopefully they'll be healthy and we'll be better again. But yeah, Smith and Peterson seem to have found the fountain of youth or something because they're playing better than they have the last few years.
Yeah, I think this is Peterson's last fully good season, so I think we need to take advantage of it. So
yeah. Yep. All right, we can move on from being Vikings homers here.
We go to the Chiefs game.
Yeah, we need to go to the Sunday slate now.
Jonathan Taylor scored a touchdown. It's good for fantasy.
Everyone that took him for the first round number one pick and was disappointed for 10 weeks out of the season.
Yeah,
he was one of my three keepers.
Yeah.
Him, Najee Harris, him and Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson I kept. Two good picks.
Yeah. Well, one's been hurt most of the season.
Right now I got Steelers plus 2.5, so I was going to be okay with a field goal there. So
I don't even remember what I picked.
Oh, they're still up 6, so they're covering so far.
All right, Broncos just suck.
Broncos country, let's die.
They can't even score as many as Russell Wilson has bathrooms.
How many did he have this weekend?
Well, there's Broncos scored 10 and he's got 12 bathrooms. He didn't have any touchdowns this weekend.
I hate to say it, but he got outplayed by Sam Darnold. Just looking at the raw stats here, 19 for 35, 142 and a touchdown, 21 QBR and 73 rating. Sam Darnold was 11 for 19, 164 a touchdown, no sacks, 72 QBR, 103 rating.
He might have been worse than Zach Wilson.
I did see. I'll be honest, because I could care less about focusing any time on this one. Right now, I mean, Russ, he's got 8 touchdowns, and the joke is he's got 12 bathrooms. So maybe by the end of the season he'll get there. But I did see one of the issues they're having as a team is they had an up-tempo drive with 8 minutes left in the fourth in order to come back, and it took them over 5 minutes, and they had multiple drops in the end zone. I mean, it just I don't know. Russ looks like he's scrambling out there. I have no idea on how good or bad that line is. I'm going to assume just really bad, but without that garbage time touchdown late in the fourth, this is a 23-3 game. It was just a non-contest.
Well, one quick thing, they can't win the game by punt, field goal, fumble, punt, touchdown.
Not unless you're the Iowa Hawkeyes and you have that amazing defense. You're not going to win a game. I agree.
And Denver wanted to compete, and then they trade away Bradley Chubb. Their GM is candidate to get fired.
Wasn't he the Vikings assistant GM, Peyton?
Who's their GM?
I'm pretty sure he was the Vikings assistant GM because people
George
were
Pat-
worried
yeah,
about
George Patton.
Patton. Yeah, people were upset that he was leaving instead of us getting rid of Spielman for him.
I hated Spielman. Later
Yeah.
years, hated Spielman.
Yeah, later years for sure. Yeah, the Broncos suck. The Panthers they suck too, but apparently less than the Broncos. We can move on.
Yeah.
Unless Clark has something.
Terrible game.
No,
Nobody
the
cared about
Broncos
either
are
of these
dead.
teams.
They're dead.
Fighting for that next year's pick. Oh wait, they don't have it.
Yeah, they don't have that.
What's the next game?
Well,
yeah.
moving on. It was
Where's our
the
cue card?
Commanders.
Let's see. What happened this
Falcons visiting the commies there in Washington.
game? Brian Robinson got it done.
Commanders look hot, man. I feel like they're one of the more underrated teams in the NFL right now.
Yeah, if they weren't in such a hard division, they would. Yeah, they're good. They're really looking good.
They're a couple years away. They're probably a quarterback and a year away.
Just imagine what happens if they get an actual owner.
Right?
Dude,
Somebody who might actually build a statue or something instead of just hang a jersey from some hangers in a little glass box.
I can't believe they did that, man.
Don't forget the soccer cleats.
That's right. It's a
was
good
so
idea,
bad.
just not well executed.
I
Please,
mean,
anybody but Dan Snyder on this team, I will pitch in to buy it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, you consider how big of a star he was, what he did for that team. They haven't been the same since he's left. I mean, that was just, I mean, there's no other way to say it. And for those who, when you're saying a statue, you're imagining bronze. You're thinking like a bust or something.
Nick
They
Foles.
literally just set up like it looked like a Shields dummy dressed up in Sean Taylor's outfit.
That's what it was.
I mean, it was just
Yeah.
disrespectful and pathetic.
I don't
There-
even
there's
think
no
it was
other way
that
to
high
say it.
quality.
The Eagles owner gives Nick Foles a statue outside of their stadium after he wins the Super Bowl, and Sean Taylor,
Mhm.
I mean, tragically he passed away, but if he played the full career, he would have been probably the greatest person to play for that franchise ever, and he's already in the top 10 to play for that franchise, and you do the best by a mannequin.
Yeah.
Pathetic, man.
Dan Snyder is the by far worst owner in the NFL, and I absolutely hate Jerry Jones, but Dan Snyder's not a bad owner, he's just a terrible person.
Jerry
Oh, he's a
Jones
bad
is the
owner,
best.
too.
Can't
Don't
wait
just
until
bring
that sale cannot happen fast enough.
No, Jeff Bezos is going to buy him, turn him to the freaking Amazon Commanders.
The Washington Prime. Come on.
The Washington Amazonians?
I don't
Maybe?
know. Yeah. Yeah, they would have been better off doing nothing at all and pretending that Taylor was even part of the organization.
No.
How they handled
You never know. Jackson Mahomes might come by and dance on that. On that
he
statue,
should
man.
just dance with it.
He was in the roped area. They told him to go in. Why did they put it over top of that? Come on.
Hey, he's been quiet this year. I've got to give it to him. There really has
No,
been nothing about
Patrick's
it.
agent had no way. Patrick's agent had to sit down with him and told him to stop being stupid, man. There's no way.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, they definitely had to. You can't have that type of off-field distraction, and it's been. I mean, I follow him on TikTok because I was getting ready for the season. He hardly posts anything anymore.
Him and Juju, I was expecting some awesome collabs.
Mm-hmm.
I think
And-
everybody was.
And his wife, too. His wife has been really quiet this year, too.
They had to sit down. They had to have.
Well, I guess when
Best
the internet goes
collaboration.
after you for 4 months straight, I guess apparently you don't live out there anymore. So
It's true.
Best
Yeah,
collaboration
it's-
we've had this season is Henry Winkler getting in on the Patrick Mahomes love.
yeah, that's so weird.
And Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd with some love on him, too, on NFL Network.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd's always been a Chiefs fan, man. I did not
love Paul
expect
Rudd.
the wink.
Never knew
Paul
that.
Rudd's the best thing to ever be part of Kansas. No offense there, Clark.
Shots taken. Kept an eye on you, Ryan.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
If you make funny movies like Paul Rudd does, you know what? We'll talk. But I Love You Man has
Okay.
given me a lot of good laughs in the past.
So, anything else on Commanders? Are we okay to move on?
I don't think we
No,
barely
no.
talked about them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a game.
They're strong
It
team.
happened.
Falcons
They beat
lose.
Joey's Falcons. We don't want to rub it in too much.
Yeah, make Joey feel bad.
Moving on. Bengals
One thing,
went
Clark.
down to Tennessee.
That division sucks. Tampa's leading at 5-6, and that division is not good.
The story writers are writing something special for Brady. He's going to win a
Hey.
Super Bowl at a losing record.
Yeah, that would be
Carolina
awesome.
won a game last week. Come on, give that division a break.
But they're not leading it.
Wait, have they won 2 in a row?
Panthers.
Hold on. The Panthers could be on a roll here.
It
Oh, no,
could
they
be.
lost the Ravens. They lost the Ravens.
One more, and they call that a winning streak.
Who knows? They could
All
take the
right.
division.
They could. It's
Titans.
wide open.
Well, two out of 3 for the Panthers. Their only loss was to the Ravens, who actually didn't choke that game away. So.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a big. I can't wait to talk about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So the
All
game
right.
we're moving on to here is Bengals at the Titans. This one surprised me. I was
I had to sit
expecting
through this.
more out of the Titans. It looks like the Bengals are getting hot.
Mhm.
Listen, living in Tennessee, watching this game is absolute misery. This Titans team at 7-4, people want to say the Vikings are the worst 9-2 team of all time. That's fine. Statistically, it's fine. This is the worst 7-4 team I've ever seen. If Derrick Henry doesn't get going, the Titans are not a franchise. And that's so sad that Derrick Henry, I guess if you look at the stats, he had a terrible game rushing, but he had a good game receiving. It all came off one really big screen pass, which he ended up fumbling into the end zone anyways.
Mhm.
But other than that, oh my gosh, this team is – the Bengals did all they could to lose this game.
They need to develop Malik Willis really fast.
Yeah, Willis,
Yeah.
Or
Tannehill's –
Malik
I mean,
Willis. Sorry.
you never know. Rodgers has land in Tennessee. He's got
True.
land in a house in Tennessee. So
There's no way anyone can take that cap casualty, but it is true.
I mean, if I'm the Titans, and again, I agree. I think this is just the Bengals starting to get hot at the right time. I mean, we always thought with Jamar Chase going to be out, that was going to hold him back. But T. Higgins has just jumped in and be able to pick up the slack. No problem, really. I haven't seen any issues with him so far. Excuse me. But I mean, if I'm the Titans, if you don't see any improvement on Malik in this offseason, if there's a quarterback that you feel good about in this upcoming draft, take him.
it's a deep
Otherwise,
draft.
I would give the money to Derrick Henry right now and to that line. Fuck it, sign 7 new offensive linemen, and you just run a 7 front with 7 linemen up front, and just keep running it. Control
It's
the ball
not-
like you want to.
Why they don't play into the Ravens style of football baffles me.
Mhm.
Mike Vrabel should be coach of the year. He's 7-4 with this roster is outstanding. But just I don't know. They're absolutely mind-boggling to me. They should be a
Here's
lot
the
better than
thing.
what they are.
Here's what really upsets me is every week I have said Tennessee's overrated. They're overrated. I have bet against Tennessee every week. Finally, I buy into Tennessee, take the +2, and they lose. Like I freaking the NFL. I hate the NFL this year. I cannot figure it out for the life of me.
We don't want to talk about your bad bets, Ryan. That's for Wednesday.
Yeah,
That's for Wednesday.
I
Tune
will
in to
say-
see how we all suck this week.
Speaking of
Hey,
Cincinnati,
Brian was pretty good. And Joey
Oh,
had a
yeah.
good week.
we're one
I
game
haven't
away
been
from
lucky.
500. That's
just-
the good week.
I just know I read you and Trent saying you guys might not win any games this week.
Yeah.
No, I started terribly on Thanksgiving. It's funny. We always talk about you have a good morning slate, your afternoon's going to be dog shit. You have a bad morning, afternoon, and evening games are going 100% your way. So, but No, I would say the Chiefs are playing the Bengals, and they're starting to get a little hot next week. And I don't know, Jamar Chase might
He is
be
back.
back.
They-
He is going to be back.
They all. Last thing I saw was it was confirmed that he was coming back.
Yeah, and so he was showing somewhat ready. I have him on my fantasy team and started him, and then he was out all of a sudden. So I figured it was one of those. Let's just sit him one more week and be prepped for the
It
Chiefs.
says Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase are preparing to play for the Chiefs.
Yeah. So no,
Do you
I'd say that'll be a good one. That'll be a tough one.
As long as Mixon's taking those snaps away from Perrine, I'm fine. That dude was having too good of a week.
P. Ryan is, dude. He had, I don't know. He's had a career resurgence. He used to be on the Washington forever ago.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was kind of a deathbed for a lot of people, though.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think Cincinnati is actually someone that could take the AFC again this year?
No,
Because they're heating up, but I don't
Getting
think
hot.
I don't know if they've gotten hot enough to be able to take on KC or Miami, or any of the other.
they
good
can't
defense
win.
teams.
When they're hot, they are one of the best, if not the best, offense in the NFL with that Burrow to Chase connection.
We just haven't seen that this year, though.
And
We
it's
really
crazy.
haven't.
We'll have a moment of truth this next Sunday whenever they
Yeah.
Kansas City goes to Cincy. So
Because right now we're saying the Titans are overrated. Last week they had a hard time against Pittsburgh, who Pittsburgh do suck. Pittsburgh is not a good football team this year. So they're winning, but it's not like they're beating Kansas City or Minnesota or Philadelphia or anything like that. So yeah, we'll see what they're like this year, I guess. This next week.
I would say up until this, they lost the Cowboys. They did beat a Jets in week 3, and they beat a Tua-less Dolphins. Are their probably best wins other than this Titans team? Now this will be the true test. Not even just the Chiefs. Here's their upcoming schedule: Chiefs, Browns. So you've had one playoff team: Chiefs, Browns. At Buccaneers, 2 playoff teams. At Patriots, technically a 3rd playoff team. Bills at home, 4th playoff team, and then versus Ravens, 5th playoff team, and their division winner. So I mean, or right now division leader. So I mean, if they're gonna make it, if they
got a
go
buzzsaw here.
3, 4-2, I mean, they're gonna be pretty legit. I just don't think everyone's. I think everyone's expecting the Jamar Chase Hail Mary type thing from Joe Burrow. So they're at least anticipate, because that was the thing that got him to the Super Bowl. I mean, let's be frank. It was that Swiss cheese offensive line. He doesn't know what he's doing, and he just chucks it to the side of the field that Jamar's at, and they just had that connection every single freaking time.
Quick little bit of news, by the way. Najee Harris has been ruled out for the game. They might shut him down for the season. He's been hurt too many times.
Yeah.
Huh.
So who's the backup then? Do we know?
Benny Snell, I think. Kentucky player, or ex-Kentucky running back.
Okay. So, yep. We'll move on to the Jets game.
Stinker. Yeah. Mike White is the greatest backup to grace the face of this planet. 2 years in a row he's done this. 2 years in a row.
Okay, so I put that down. We have seen this show before. We've seen this episode where Mike White comes in, dominates, and then after a few games, he's pulled again. Like, can he stay consistent, or is it going to be the same thing as last year? I'm hoping it's the same thing as last year, because we're playing him next week or this week. So I hope it's the same thing.
caught him on the right week.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a big Mike White fan, because the better he plays, the more chance is the Jets want to get rid of Zach Wilson. And I don't think if we don't get a quarterback, if the Vikings do not get a quarterback at all in the draft this year,
I don't want it to be Zach.
Zach Wilson is not the worst backup quarterback in the world to have, at least for a season.
I agree. He would. He's going to do the Baker thing, if that's the route this actually does go to. You'd be dumb not to at least give him. Same thing with like Josh Rosen, giving him a chance. I mean,
Josh Rosen's done now, though.
They talked about this exact same thing on Pat McAfee today, and they brought up a good point where last week Zach Wilson flat out said, "No, I don't care that I disappoint to the defense." Basically, Zach Wilson has not shown himself to be a team player at all.
No.
Like he seems to be a team cancer or anything. It seems like the Jets rallied around Mike. I don't want that in my locker room. Baker going out getting concussions, giving headbutts to people with helmets, congratulating them. Baker seems like a decent team guy. Darnold seemed like he's a decent team guy. I don't think Zach Wilson is someone you want in your locker room sitting behind. I don't think I don't think he's good for a team.
I think
You're gonna have to worry about him sleeping with your starting quarterback's mom. You don't want that to happen.
Well, Kirk Cousins' mom's almost. I mean, she's 70 at this point. Yeah, she's fine. I think with Zach Wilson is he was never given the keys to the offense. I think the Jets do this. The Jets don't give the quarterback that they draft the keys to the offense. They don't have confidence in the quarterback that they selected, which is very baffling. And I think
until this year they've had a rough run of coaches too.
So I think if Zach Wilson goes behind the right quarterback, if he sits behind a year at the right quarterback, like maybe Kirk Cousins, maybe he might turn it around. But if he's that big of a locker room cancer, you cut him.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'd be worried about.
I'd be afraid because they'll probably ask for a 3rd or 4th round pick for him, minimum.
Yeah. I don't think you can give that up.
And yeah,
I guess the Steelers are just doing everything in their power to not cover right now.
Jonathan Taylor,
field goal, pass interference. I mean, just
Jonathan Taylor, run this ball up the middle.
Just dog shit off.
I feel like the most disappointing part about the Chicago game was I picked Chicago money line whenever I thought Justin Fields was still going to be starting.
The worst part, the worst part about this is I traded for Justin Fields, and there was reports. And he was killing it. I traded Herbert, which great game this week. Of course, after I trade him, great game. Herbert, Dallas Goedert, and Devonta Smith for Justin Fields as a last. I'm 8-3, so I was making a push for the playoffs, and he just doesn't. He better.
I don't know if he's gonna. Is he gonna be coming back this year too?
I think he's playing next week.
Okay. Yeah, because they've been killing it on the team total over. So I took the team total over, and they actually one touchdown, they would have covered it again. But I got hurt on that one.
They do have Mooney out for the rest of the season, which sucks.
Yeah. They're banged up.
But I mean, receiver, it seems like.
The Jets I think the Jets are a good team, but they did beat the Bears, who they sold off their 2 best defensive players. So I'm not going to go and crown Mike White as this amazing quarterback yet. Let's see what they can do against the Vikings number 30 defense this week.
He might just be a Heineke type guy that covers and guy just wins.
Could be. Absolutely.
Not bad. Mike White is one of those if you guys know the Western Kentucky offense, the college, that's where Bailey Zappi's from. They're slingers. All they do is throw the ball in Western Kentucky. And I know the Vikings have a very bad pass defense, and if Dantzler's not back, and they let Mike White play similar to how he played in college, I remember watching him in college a little, he'll light up a defense. He can. Yeah. There's throws that I've never seen anybody make that he's made before.
We absolutely need at least one of our corners back, if not both of them.
Yeah.
Well, moving on here, we had the Buccaneers visiting the Browns in Cleveland. This game went to overtime. It was a tough game. Anybody see the end of this one?
Yeah, absolutely.
NFC South sucks.
What was that ending? Okay, not the Cooper Cup, the Amari Cooper catch at the end of the game. How does he get that wide open? I know he fell, but
I don't know.
The safety over the top hesitated to even come over and cover Amari Cooper.
This wasn't a game we got out in South Dakota. I didn't see any of it. I watched
Red Zone.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Like I said, the NFC South is just not good this year. Maybe the storyline is going to be come playoff. Well, Tristan Wirfs is out now too. He's injured now, so that team just got a lot worse.
Wirfs, Barrett.
Yeah, so that team just got way worse. I don't see how the Bucs keep the division lead, to be honest. but I don't see anybody coming out of that division doing anything. The Browns are getting Deshaun Watson back this week, so we'll see how his return to Houston is.
1 for 25 with 17 interceptions. That's what I want.
Yeah, that would be great. I think that's what everyone, and a couple blown kneecap. We'll see.
Like, I cannot. I as much as I wanted the Browns to win because they were one of the best teams on paper for a couple years, I can't root for them now.
Same with Stefanski. I wanted him to stay in Minnesota, but no, I'm okay. If he's okay with taking those type of characters, that's
Maybe the
Stay.
Browns take on Zach Wilson. I can't make that. Sorry.
he's too wholesome. Might be a locker room cancer, but he hasn't done anything illegal.
No. Well, I mean, he did have who was his ex-girlfriend's mother or friend?
Yeah, I mean that's not illegal.
Friend.
Yeah, no, not illegal, but I was gonna make
Moral.
that might
not
be
moral.
yeah. What were you gonna say, Brian? Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say honestly that when the Browns have been fine up until this year. Like, who cares? Like, if it was just Jacoby Brissett, I mean, you're 5
love
and 6
Jacoby.
with a backup QB, and maybe if you would put some pieces around him, but like now watching him with Deshaun Watson, this is like watching Penn State a decade ago. It was just like, why are they on television? Why are we promoting anything about them? They better be booing him out of the fucking building.
And next week it will be televised too.
Oh yeah, they have to make sure it's a spectacle. And the NFL does not want this to happen again. Here's the star though that did it, and they're gonna have a Deshaun cam. It's gonna be disgusting.
I hope he absolutely. I don't want him to get hurt. I don't wish that upon anybody. I just hope he plays terrible.
Yeah, it's
I'm
gonna be
just
one
waiting
they'll
for him
have
to
him.
crack in front of the fans and like go cussing at fans or flipping them off or something. That's what I'm waiting for.
He's gonna get. I want to hear the I want to see the decibel reading for how loud the. Are they playing in Cleveland next week?
I think.
I think it's in Houston.
No, it's in
I
Houston.
think
I
it
want to
is.
see how. I want to see how loud NRG Stadium gets.
that's gonna be their
Agreed.
highest selling game for sure.
It's
Mhm.
sold out.
Yeah,
I think it is.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, you have
I think
you
I'm
have to
betting
go
on the
with the
Texans for that
whole.
game.
To go with the whole innocent till proven guilty thing, but for me, it's like 23 is a very large number,
26. I think.
and 20. Okay, 26 is an even larger number, and I'm not cool with it. The best part is, they'll have this game televised. Here's the star of the show, Deshaun Watson, and then every commercial, believe all women, except for the guy we're paying $250 million to over there.
And the Browns are the issue. The Browns are part of the issue too. All I gotta say is that betting for the Texans next week doesn't look so bad.
No, I'm okay losing money off them.
The
Yeah,
spread's
and-
set.
and-
I think they cover. It's +7.
The Browns were always the lovable losers too. Like I could cheer for the Browns. I could feel the Browns in my life as the lovable loser. But
Yep.
no,
Not now. Definitely not now.
Yeah, now they went from lovable losers to the hated mediocre team. I mean, you didn't go up any at all, and especially with how they got rid of Baker too. Baker's not great. Let's just be honest, but the way they got rid of him too.
He did a lot for that franchise. He really
gave him
did.
stability, and then they kicked him out.
Off topic. I don't know who had the Pittsburgh's +2, but Indianapolis fumbled on the goal line.
Yep, I didn't want to bring it up because Jonathan Taylor's on your team, so I was just gonna.
Well, it looked like it was Matt Ryan, was it?
Yeah, it was right on the handoff, so I don't know if they're gonna hit the penalty.
They put it on Matt Ryan.
It was on the handoff. Jonathan Taylor closed the arms like too early. So
That's on Matt Ryan then.
It's on those two guys. They know it.
As long
you
as
got to be
it's not
clean
on,
with that.
as long as it's not Taylor on my fantasy team, I don't care.
Well,
All right, who's the next
moving on
game here?
to another exciting finish to a game. We had
Running
the
back
Ravens
overrated.
visiting the Jaguars.
Overrated running back. I'm saying it. It's fine. Dude, you cannot play. You cannot expect a $300 million contract and do that
No,
ever.
no.
And from what and there's a big overreact. Well, not overreaction. There's a big reaction to him tweeting at a fan and everything else after the game because the fan rightfully called him out. And you really have to look at it this way. It's you are asking for Mahomes and Brady money back in the day, Manning, all these top tier quarterbacks. You want more money than them. But you're losing to the Jags. And yes, there's a couple of dropped touchdowns in the end zone, or from what I hear on this game. That doesn't matter. That you make the better throw then, and you put your team in a position where you don't have to come from behind. And the Jags did the exact right thing. When they were down, it was 27-20, and you score a touchdown late in the game. And to be honest, we've all been bashing on the Jags all year. Jags are awful. That quit saying that they're a good team because they beat a Herbertless Chargers. And they just go, you know what, fuck it. We're not playing for the tie. We're playing for the win, and didn't give them enough time where they had to rely on a Justin Tucker 67-yard field goal, which, let's be honest, when we all saw him lining up, we all thought he was making it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clark, don't take your head. You thought he was going to make it.
I thought he was smacking that. Would that be the NFL record, or did he have 66 or 67?
He had 66 last year. He would have broke his own record.
66 is the record. He hit that last year. 67 would have been a new record. But, dude, it's down in Jacksonville. You got that thick, heavy air. Like, he lined up for that, and I thought, no way. Like,
It was
Science
close.
Clark over here.
it was close. I mean, it was short by like 5 yards, but
In Denver, that's in.
And
Easy.
he's disappointed in it too. I love the fact that he was disappointed and took it upon himself. Like, dude, you can't expect to have to hit game-winning 67-yard.
No, listen. I think that he's underperforming on the Ravens, obviously. So he needs to be traded to the Vikings.
just stop it. Just stop it.
And all our problems are solved. We'll swap kickers.
Did you guys
You
see
would
the
kill
original?
Justin Tucker's career? Like, he would go to Minnesota and like immediately
We would
start
curse
missing
it.
field goals. Like, you cannot
We
have
would
Justin
curse
Tucker.
Hey, speaking of
So
kickers,
did you guys see the original tweets?
yes. They're everywhere, dude.
too? Yeah, so it's the guys said exactly what I've been saying all season. Really, basically, you're asking for over $250 million. You can't have Justin Tucker kick a 67-yarder to win it. Lamar Jackson has to take over. His response: "Shut the fuck up. Y'all be capping too much on this app. MF never smelt a football field, never did shit but eat dick." Deleted that tweet and then went after and said, "This is defamation of my character because not once have I ever mentioned or disrespect anyone's sexuality, sexual orientation, gender, religion, or race. You're reaching." Like,
Hey, he just told a man to eat a dick. That's all.
what world does this guy live in? Like, I've never paid attention to Lamar Jackson off the field. I figured he was a decent guy. The guy's a freaking idiot, it looks like.
You have to
He's his own
know.
agent.
You have to know. In this day and age, I hate that I have to say this day and age,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to know what you say has to be looked back on, even if you don't mean it how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think his intention was to bring hate towards any person.
I would
group,
agree with that, but
I
you don't
think
say that stuff.
You shouldn't have said it. You can't look at. I don't know. You have to look at what you're tweeting before you tweet it.
Yeah.
You can't tell
can't
your
say
fans. Yeah, you can't do that. You're the face of the franchise. You're the face of an NFL franchise. You're a prior MVP. You have
want to talk about a locker room. I don't know how he's in the locker room, but you want to talk about somebody that's a cancer to the team on social media. Lamar Jackson, I mean,
has he had any other incidents though like this?
no, he hasn't had anything big, but he tweets some dumb stuff every now and again.
But I mean, I asked this to everybody the other night. Has he hurt how much he's worth? He bet on himself.
Far.
He hasn't. I don't think he's performed as well. I think Joey disagreed that he thinks he has, but I don't see it. I don't know.
Ryan, all right. So I'm kind of with Joey here. He was not the one who fumbled on their last possession. Gus Edwards
Agreed.
coughed that thing up to the Jaguars and gave it to him immediately in the red zone. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Lamar's not playing defense. Their defense has
Agreed.
sucked. It's been terrible.
Yeah,
Like Lamar is he's a big reason they were as successful as they are. If they didn't have Lamar, you replace him with Zach Wilson or anybody else. Let's just
Well,
trade in a player here.
Clark,
Are they
I'll-
are they any better?
Let me can I
Russell Wilson? Are they any better?
No, but I want the stat line. Let's go his last 5 games because that's what's up on ESPN. 9 for 16, 120, 0 touchdowns. 27-38, 238, 2 touchdowns. Great game versus Tampa Bay. New Orleans next week, 12 for 22, 133, 1 touchdown. Carolina, 24 for 33, 209, no touchdowns, an interception. Jacksonville, 16 for 32, 254, 1 touchdown.
So, but then you also got to take into account the targets he has. He's been without Mark Andrews up until this week.
Agreed.
Mark Andrews was finally back. That's his number 1 target, just like Patrick with Kelsey. So I give him some leniency because his number 1 wide receiver is Duvernay, and he doesn't have much help. They traded away his number 1 weapon at the draft last year.
If they pay him all that money, I don't think they can go out and afford somebody.
They'd have to draft. I mean, through the draft, they might be able to find someone.
Just give him the Patrick Mahomes style, $500 million over 10 years.
I just don't think
there's always loopholes. You just need the right GM to
But
make it
I
happen.
mean, but then you got rid of Tyreek left. You didn't get rid of Tyreek. He plainly left. He wanted out. But you look at how great Mahomes is making MVS a decent receiver. Juju Smith's, he's being the dude from the Giants, Tony, whatever.
Tony.
Yeah, I mean, he's making something out of people that Aaron Rodgers couldn't make it with, Ben Roethlisberger couldn't make with.
What are we talking about? Aaron Rodgers is making Christian Watson look way better than JJ.
He did nothing with MVS, though. He did nothing with MVS. Mahomes is. I don't know.
He also had Devontae Adams when he had MVS, and then Devontae is the only guy who wanted to throw.
I think the big
Well,
picture
then he should have. So the MVS should have been wide open with Devontae being double and triple teams.
And Rodgers still got to throw it to Devontae.
I don't think Lamar has the talent that someone like Mahomes does to make receivers better, overperform.
Can Lamar be the quarterback that the Cam Newton style of football is not going to last? His body will start wearing out to where he'll have to start using his arms more than his legs. Can he, at the point he is, can he get better than what he is passing? Or has he hit his ceiling? That's what the contract's – I don't think the contract's about what he's done. The contract is about what can he do.
Yeah, I agree. Look what we're seeing with Wilson. Wilson wants to be a pocket passer, and he's not a good pocket passer. He was great when he could improvise and scramble, but when he wants to sit back and be a pocket passer, he has done nothing in Denver.
I mean, it's the same way that Mahomes got paid. They paid him because what he can do, and he's doing that.
Yeah.
So
because he can the guy can throw passes blindfolded. Lamar can't do that.
Yeah.
You still got to add more pieces. Like, it's not a one-man sport. So.
He needs another receiver. He for sure needs at least one more receiver. And I've got to say, they need a different running back. I just don't remember a time that J.K. Dobbins has been on the field.
Yeah, he's not been healthy. So
I can't. It sucks for him that he's not healthy, but also I can't give him that much of a break for being hurt. So.
Bryant is sitting there like, guys, come on.
Why are we talking about a running back this long, dude? I just, the only thing I was going to end with is, again, Lamar wants Mahomes money and he bet on himself, but with 14 seconds, he set his kicker up with a 6-7 yard field goal. Mahomes set up in 13 seconds his field goal kicker for a 49-yard field goal last year. So he wants Mahomes money. That's what Mahomes does. He puts you 16 yards or 18 yards closer for a field goal.
I'm interested actually.
Set you up for an NFL record kick.
I know we're not talking about him right now. I'm interested in the contract Josh Allen's going to get.
Yeah.
He's due this year, isn't he? Or unless he signed the contract and I'm mistaken.
I don't believe he has.
Yeah.
I believe he's still on his rookie.
He's got to be on his 5th-year option.
Yeah. And obviously, I think the Bills will pay him what he wants at this point. If you have stability at quarterback and he's proven he can run it.
Okay. He did sign the extension.
Yeah.
6-year, 258. 6-year, 258. Yeah.
Okay.
43 a season. So I
All
guess
to be tied with the Miami Dolphins.
I wonder what Tua's due for a contract extension this year.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Dolphins. That's our next game up. Texans visited Miami, took on the Fins, and that one went as expected. Got up big.
A little closer than I thought.
Did it? I thought they were up 30-0 at one point, weren't they?
Final score is 30-15.
Yeah.
That was
I
the
don't think that
final.
game was.
The Texans did score the last 15 points. Like it was 30-0 at half. So
Yeah.
I don't think that game was ever.
I don't
close.
think Tua played the entire fourth quarter. I think they had him on the bench.
No. Skylar Thompson came in.
Yeah,
That's smart.
I don't know. Damian Pierce got shut down.
I
think
Houston's one-dimensional.
I don't care about Houston, to be honest. I'd rather talk about money. Houston's kind of not doing anything for a while. They're getting Will Anderson.
Yeah, they're
That's
going to
their
be
prize.
in. They might be the next Browns where they have a first-round pick for 10 years in a row.
They're the Browns' first round pick.
Yeah.
Just top 10 pick at this point.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing here. I think the Finns are, they could be the second best team after Kansas City in the AFC, but I don't know. A 30-15 win over the Texans isn't going to quite get you there, but Joey has them as the number one team in the NFL. So
I can't believe Tyreek Hill is 1 yard more than Justin Jefferson.
Yeah,
that's my only gripe.
This is going to with the Dolphins, and kind of we're going to talk about in a couple games with the Chiefs. This is, some would say this is over 2 touchdowns. This is a dominating win. I just say the Dolphins did what they were supposed to in this game. Win by 15. If anything, they didn't do enough versus the clear worst team in the league. They did what they needed to, but 2 touchdown win, nothing special. So.
They kind of just, I wouldn't say they gave up. They didn't do what they did last week to the Browns. They didn't run up the score. I think this was just get in there, win the game, get out. It was after a bye week, so it's a win.
Yep.
I am interested, like I said a little bit ago, what Tua is going to get for his contract.
I don't know.
Because
he's had one awesome season. Do you pay him after one awesome season, or do you franchise tag him and say, okay, prove it?
And the one thing I keep seeing a knock about on Tua is obviously we've talked about his arm talent before, is not being able to throw the ball that far. Because Tua's naturally a right-handed person, so his mechanics in his body are to throw right-handed. So he turns his body away from where he's throwing. That's a little side tangent thing, but does Tua get Lamar Jackson money?
I don't think so.
I mean, how much are you paying these wide receivers? If it were me, I mean, what's their biggest weakness on the Dolphins team right now?
Defense.
Defense.
Pass rush.
I
Their
say
pass rush.
if it were me, if you were going to be serious, I mean, look at every team that's won a Super Bowl. A lot of them recently with the Chiefs, with
Rookie contracts.
Russell Wilson when he was younger and stuff. I say you trade Tua while it's hot, and you can get the most value out of him. Get a young quarterback that can, throw to these wide receivers that you have to pay, solidify your line and defense. And I mean, look again. Russ Wilson did it. Patrick Mahomes did it when we put all of our money on the defense and all around him. And before he got his big contract. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I think for me it'd be a prove it thing. Like he showed signs of being good last year, but obviously we know the situation, with the coach there. I do think for me, if I'm going to pay him, I need to see 2 full seasons of this elite play.
I'm interested in to see how the Dolphins flip. Dolphins, I'm not saying they're not going to win the Super Bowl this year, because they definitely can.
I think
interested.
Yeah.
So we were talking about Lamar. If we swap Tua and Lamar, how good is Lamar on the Dolphins?
I don't know if he has the arm power to make those throws, to be honest. He probably wouldn't know what to do with wide receivers that wide open either.
It's true.
I think McDaniels is the key behind this all, if you want me to be honest.
Oh,
how often
such a smart guy.
Catering the game around his quarterback. he can do that just the same with any other quarterback.
Yeah. Well,
It's interesting.
and who's the next one here?
The one we've been waiting for this meme here. Chargers 25, Cardinals 24 here.
Get it up there, Clark.
Is it the jacket? Oh,
No.
no, that.
Yeah, it's on Twitter here.
Oh, I never saw that. That's.
So Chargers came back and win. It's a pay F to pay respects Call of Duty reference there.
Oh, wow. He's 0-3 since the new Call of Duty came out.
Yeah.
Also,
So,
I thought you guys
Love
were going to put the Kyler Murray the jacket he was wearing. It was kind of ironic.
Well, that was pretty terrible too. It
what did
is
it have on it?
amazing that
giant
other
L on
NFL
it.
teams are going straight after him on this now. Like nobody's being shy about it. It's awesome.
Well, the media went after Justin Herbert. I mean, the media, the show that put out the clip is a very sketchy show.
Pulse of
But-
the Heartland.
What was it? I think it's Speak Up or something like that on FS1 or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
Yeah.
Emmanuel Acho, he said that Justin Herbert is only a social media quarterback. Granted, Herbert's not had that good of a year. I'm going to give him that. But Herbert's not had quarterbacks wins aren't a quarterback stat.
Yeah.
And he's not had anything.
I will just say right now, I apologize because I like doing the podcast with all of you. FS1, if you want to pay me half the money, I can spew out half the stupid shit that Emmanuel Acho says. Everything he says is like, how could you be in sports media and be that wrong all of the time? This isn't even hot takes. You know,
And they're
everything he says.
they're very
so
biased.
Yeah.
They're also all Eagles fans. Every single one of them are Eagles fans.
Yeah.
You got Shady on there. You got, I think her name's Joy, who only thinks the Eagles is the only team in the NFL. And then you've got Acho. So
No, Emmanuel Acho, not even just NFL. Just like there's a few sports where it's just like, what in the hell are you talking about, dude?
listen, if FS1 wants to pay everybody on Pulse of the Heartland to come on and take the spot of that show,
again, we will split the half of what you play Emmanuel Acho, and we'll have just as good of opinions. I mean, the guy's just an idiot.
I'll do it for free. I don't
It
doesn't bother me.
So, yeah, I mean, and again, this is it's not a good sign when Kyler's talking about he was quote unquote schematically fucked on the fourth down interception there.
I can't believe you said that.
Again, this is a guy that you just paid a bunch of money and he's going, I wasn't in the right scheme. Do you think Peyton Manning ever said, I was put in a bad position by Tony Dungy. I was schematically fucked? No, he goes, I know I'm in a bad position here. I'm going to audible out of it. And not everyone can be Peyton Manning. Not everyone can be these Tom Brady's and these, game changers.
Kyler,
then you shouldn't get paid like it.
Kyler Murray, the reason he can't audible out of sets is because he's too short to see over the offensive line.
You can't see it.
He is trying. He instead of playing Madden to learning how to audible, he plays too much Call of Duty, and so he doesn't know how to audible out of things. He's used to switching guns.
It is crazy though that the pattern that every year after Call of Duty, he just goes to shit. Like it is amazing that happens every year, and it could be absolutely ironic. It may not have any correlation, but it is hilarious that it is every single year.
When it's specifically people have done the research in every single year release and your stats, I mean, just not even exponentially, there's a trend line down at that point every single year. Once, okay, it happens. Twice, a coincidence. Third time, that's a trend, man. This has been Cold War, Vanguard, and now Modern Warfare 2. I don't know if they had Modern Warfare in those stats as well. Every single Call of Duty, that's the reason it's so funny because I mean, we were laughing our asses off at the beginning of the year with this contract where they said you have to study film 4 hours a week. It got taken out because they got publicly shamed for it. And now they're probably going, I wish we would have just kept it in there and kept the shame because, Jesus, it's nothing.
Only 4 hours? Only 4 hours a week?
Outside of the facility they wanted them. That's an hour a day.
When I played, I looked at film for at least an hour and a half a day, and that's high school football.
Yep.
For any good quarterback, I mean, and I don't know what Mahomes does, what Josh Allen does, but I know with Kirk Cousins, it's a second full-time job when it comes to what he does for studying film. That's just how he is. The fact that you have to have, we're begging you, 4 hours is what we ask of you is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's showing, man. Good on the Chargers. They're showing strong. Their injuries aren't holding them back as much. You see, everyone's getting healthier. So again, we're really good at ripping on the Cardinals, but good on them to at least keep it competitive. Makes the Chiefs' wins look a little better. So keeps the AFC West not looking like a complete pile of garbage out there.
It's true.
And David's comment, I can't remember what he was talking about, but the Acho guy on that show, he just absolutely trashed the Vikings, and it was pre the Cowboys game. Just absolutely trashed them, and the stuff he was saying was just so stupid that I'm just like, how this he played in the NFL, correct? How did he
wasn't super good, but
he was better than I was, but how this guy was in the NFL, I don't know, because he's just
yeah, I'm not sure.
All right, what's the next game here?
Chiefs 26, Rams 10.
All right, the game we've been waiting for you guys.
The Rams are the worst defending Super Bowl champions of all time.
Yeah, I think right now, I think right now, like technically with their winning percentage, they are. The only reason there's teams that have had less wins is because there's been less games in the season for them to, have a chance. And again, this is where like we were joking in our group thread where I said it wasn't a dominating win, and Ryan's like, imagine being a Vikings fan with all these one-score games, but every week we're talking about this Rams team not being good, and we're correct. We're playing I think the third string quarterback. Is that right, Clark?
Let's see who.
It was at least
Perkins.
the backup Wofford.
Yeah, Perkins, the guy who broke like his cervical spine and had to wear freaking braces for like months at a time so he could play football again.
Yeah.
What in the world?
Yeah,
So,
he's got an incredible story.
Again, this is where we're saying this is a dominating win. The Chiefs, being the powerhouse that they are on offense and now defense they've been playing, this should have been a 21 plus game or point blowout, for the Rams to keep it even this close. And Clark can probably elaborate it more. It seems like once they got into the bend but don't break, like they could drive the ball like none other, and then they got into the red zone. And I don't know if they're just experimenting with different players at positions, like because they knew they had the lead and they could do it, but they would just piss it down their legs after a decent drive.
The Mahomes red zone or goal line touchdown there, that wasn't his typical thing. That was surprising to me.
Yeah, they also had some costly penalties in the red zone. I know at one point Noah Gray had a touchdown that came back due to holding, and I think Justin Watson, or is it Justin Watson? Which one's the receiver? I can't remember.
Justin Watson. Christian Watson is the Packers.
Yeah. Well, who's the defensive player, Watson, for the Chiefs? Because there was Watson MVPs for the Chiefs that 1 week.
Oh,
it's so confusing. Watson,
I don't even see a Watson on your defense.
Yeah, he's like a third or fourth string cornerback.
I'll find him for y'all.
Anyways, so yeah, I think he had one that also came out of the end zone. So some bad penalties, and then they were just running the ball. Pacheco was running the ball hard, but it wasn't
Jalen Watson
last week. It seemed a little more predictable. Which Watson was it? Jalen Watson. Yeah. Get them all confused now.
I will say that what's his name? Nick Bolton. Solid linebacker. Solid.
That dude's always going at 1,000 miles per hour. Like he is 150% all the time.
Y'all picked up Irv Smith Marset?
Amir Smith.
Amir Smith, sorry.
He that's not
he was on the Bears.
Yeah, well, he was on the Vikings, and we saw what he did when the Bears picked him up. Cam Dantzler stole the ball and won the game for us from him.
Took his masculinity with that one.
He was not great.
He's probably, I don't know what he does for y'all, but
Actually, you know what? I think I know what it was, Bryant.
What's that?
Ronald Jones got his first action this week, and he was holding him back.
Trade me off this team. He's probably the first Chiefs player I've seen all year that's complaining about being on a winning team. It's like if you want to get traded to the
Back to Tampa.
Rams, let us know, dude. I've never got the farther you get into a career, and I think he's just upset because he was traded expecting to be playing him and Clyde. It's like, but then if you have a 7th round rookie outplay you in camp, sorry, man. I mean that's kind of on you at that point. You can't get
Right.
mad that some rookie out of Rutgers came and kicked your ass. But
speaking of,
Did you see he's going to have even more competition now?
yeah,
no.
Melvin Gordon.
The Chiefs signed Melvin Gordon.
Oh, they did really.
Yeah.
We had to get him in before we play the Broncos twice, so I know all the audibles from the Seahawks. Sorry, Broncos.
You got to bring in that valuable information.
Yeah, so I was just looking at our upcoming schedule. At
Sorry.
Bengals will be tough. We actually got a golly, the last 6 weeks at the Bengals, at Broncos, at Texans, versus the Seahawks, versus the Broncos, at the Raiders. So I mean, right now, I mean, just a lot of away games where anything can happen here. But I mean, at Bengals and Seahawks are probably our only ones I'll really fret about right now.
I wouldn't
can't
fret
be
about the
sleeping, though.
Seahawks.
Can't
I
be
wouldn't fret
sleeping.
about.
They went to Indianapolis and were asleep, man. They got
Mhm.
beat, so you can't do that. You got to show
Yeah.
up, perform, bring the
Everyone has
juice
that.
every week.
Everyone has
I
that
wouldn't-
one bad loss. You guys have
I
Indy, we've
wouldn't-
got the whomping by the Cowboys.
I wouldn't dismiss the Raiders just yet. I don't think they're
Yeah.
a playoff team, but they're not. They've got signs of life.
The Raiders are one of those teams. It's like the Chargers. They're always going to play the Chiefs well.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's division. It's the AFC West play each other very hard unless you're the Broncos.
Well, I mean, they've
And it's an
all
off
been-
season for them. Like they're uncharacteristic this year.
Honestly,
they-
the Raiders could make a push. I mean, they've got a tough schedule, but
I'm taking
Josh-
every spread for Kansas City against every AFC West team, so they finally cover one, and I can say, "See, I told you guys, you need to stop doubting your team."
you know,
Do it.
I lose it every single time, but there's going to be one time I'm right.
I'm looking at the Raiders schedule here. They got Chargers at Rams, Patriots at Steelers, Niners, Chiefs.
I think realistically, what is that? 6 games? I think they
Yeah.
can split 3 and 3. I'm going to take an upset versus the Chargers. I don't know. I just got to.
That'd be maybe the one.
I think that's the one. I think the Rams and the Steelers are 2 easy wins.
I think
Unless the Steelers
I'm-
defense plays really good.
I'm still not sold on the 49ers. The 49ers defense is awesome, but if they get a team that can actually get some offense going, I don't think they can keep up.
4th best team in the NFL or the NFC. Sorry.
That's
Ooh.
possible, but I'm not sold on them. Their defense, I wish we had their defense, but their offense, I'm glad we don't.
I wish we had.
You just wish you had Brock Purdy. That's the only piece you wish you had.
Mhm.
Brock Purdy is the best quarterback on that roster, next to Christian McCaffrey.
Oh God,
Been saying it for weeks.
Christian McCaffrey. Hey,
for months
Christian
since they
McCaffrey-
drafted him.
Christian McCaffrey has a perfect passer rating this season.
One of
they're
one.
already hyping up Garoppolo. He's going to be next after this season. Where it's like, why are we? Sorry, but he's not terrible, but he is not someone I want as a franchise quarterback.
He's done good for them trading that 2nd-round pick for him back in 2017 or 2018, whatever season. I mean, he's not bad, but he's just a worse version of Kirk Cousins. He's just way more attractive than Kirk Cousins. That's all it is.
Probably better grilling meat too.
Way better.
How did the Chiefs talk turn into Vikings talk?
Sorry,
It always does.
It turned into 49ers talk and then it turned into Vikings
Oh,
talk. Sorry.
Lord. I don't see the Raiders coming here, man. I'm looking at it. There's 4 wins this year are the Broncos twice, Texans, and then the Seahawks game in overtime. I don't see him. This is where, like, literally every week when I'm making my picks, I just say Raiders are going to Raider. I don't believe in them. I've just seen too many times where they piss it down their leg, even when they have way better opportunities.
6-11 is their final. They'll beat the Rams and Steelers 6-11. If they're
Rams.
lucky, 7-10.
Yeah.
That's realistic.
Do you guys? I'm not going to change my pick because I'm not going to do it since we did at the beginning of the season. I just don't see the AFC being represented by anyone but Kansas City at the moment. They're just so good.
Anything can happen, man.
Anything can happen
any week.
Absolutely.
I think the best three teams in the NFL are in the AFC.
I would
won't
agree.
disagree.
I think it's the not no order, but Dolphins, Chiefs, and Bills. Even though the Bills are injured, and I'm going to give them that. So,
then they might because of that they may not even make the playoffs, unfortunately.
Yeah, I just think that I don't think the Jets hold on to what they have right now, and I believe Miami ends up playing the Bills again, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. They're at the Bills. I think they split the season series, and the Dolphins do have. I mean, their last 3 out of the last 4 games are pretty tough. They've got the Bills. They've got an easy win versus the Packers, and they have the Patriots and the Jets. So,
and that first Bills game was where we saw it as a Vikings fan. They have home field advantage when the visiting bench is 140 degrees on the sideline there.
It's terrible.
Yep.
And they play 4 out of their last 6 games on the road too.
Yeah. So we'll see what they're made of. Yeah.
I still think the Chiefs are the best team.
Side note,
Yeah,
Josh Jacobs ran for like 220 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was a beast. Fantasy
300
guy of
yards.
the week.
300 yards from scrimmage. 303.
Big time. Moving on. Saints are dead at Niners.
I love this game so much just because the Saints did not score any points.
Ryan had the Saints scoring over 16.5.
I did. I thought, well, hey, they could score 17 points. Why not?
Red Rifle, man.
The Cardinals just did it. Why can't the Saints?
The Red Rifle.
Man led him in passing and rushing. He can do no wrong.
Yeah. Again, the 49ers, I hate. I don't know. I don't know what to think about them. Their defense is awesome. So good. I don't know if there's a better defense in the NFL, but I don't see their offense being good enough to win in the playoffs. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's week in, week out. Like, you look at last week, George Kittle was freaking flying down the field, scoring 2 touchdowns. Like, you haven't really seen Christian McCaffrey explode yet. Will he? Debo, I mean, they paid Debo this last offseason. He hasn't really done anything this year at all.
He's not a wide back anymore either. He's just a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He still gets his running touches. Don't worry.
I'm very confused. When they picked up McCaffrey, I was more confused than excited for it because they were using Debo in that role already. And so they have 2 players of the same, I guess, way they play the game. Skill set, thank you. That's the word.
Get them both out there. You got to guard them both. I mean, come on. Let's go.
Yeah, but teams are doing it. McCaffrey had 11 rushes for 32 yards and 4 receptions for 17.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we always say, like, even the year when they got to the Super Bowl with the Chiefs is, this isn't going to translate, but I mean, it's defense. They're always going to be able to at least compete in every single game, and as long this is Iowa 2.0 in the NFL. If their defense can stop them enough, the offense only needs to put up 10, 14 points. But that's the scary part is, can that offense put up 14 consistently? I think they can with the addition of McCaffrey and being able to run the ball. The interesting thing that came out last week was if with Trent Williams, he's been kind of telegraphing what the play is going to be. They had some, not even experts, just people that are watching film, and they go, I predicted it 90% of the time because he either has his foot way farther out to predict a run, or he's more set up and he's ready to push off the line, be ready closer for push off or a run, or his left leg pushed back to anticipate a pass rush. So, I mean, if armchair quarterbacks can pick that up, defensive coordinators can pick that up, and I mean that's my big worry about San Fran is if their left tackle is giving off key, run or pass, that's not good. No, nothing should be tipping you off on what the play is.
Well, they had that issue in Washington with him.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big issue before all the debacle went down there. He would tip people off of what it was, and
maybe that's a testament to him. He's tipping it off, and he's still blocking pretty well. I mean, it's
but
one
defenses
of those one of the premier.
They're adjusting. They're adjusting just quick enough to stop that offense. So,
yep. So that maybe if they fix that, that might be the one small difference there. But
yeah, they have all the pieces they need to be good on offense.
I agree.
Oh yeah. I wonder if Trey Lance would make them better offensively.
From game 1, no, but I can't judge that because it was in the rain. So
it was a freaking monsoon. Moving on. That question's not even getting answered. He hasn't even had time on the field. Jeez. You just hate Jimmy. Packers. You love the Packers, Ryan. Let's hear about it.
I love the Packers. Hey,
you also love the Eagles.
They
love
actually
hurts.
were
Love
actually
hurts.
Yeah, love hurts right by each other there. They actually looked solid yesterday against a good Eagles team, but I don't know. Is Rodgers done for the season? Is he done for his career? It's
Rodgers got picked off by a white guy, guys. It's
pretty
much over.
I didn't see. Did he get tackled and get off the field, walk off the field, or what? I didn't see what happened that caused him to leave. I guess
it was his oblique, wasn't it, or whatever it's called?
Yeah. That I saw a rib, possibly not a punctured lung, I guess, but I don't know. Jordan Love didn't look terrible. His one touchdown was a little overblown because it was a 5-yard pass. But
yeah, that was not a dot. Whatever the media is saying, he just threw a slant, or technically it was an inside post to Watson.
Yeah,
Watson did the rest.
Yeah, but he made a couple decent passes the following drive. A couple that were behind that weren't great. I don't know. If I were the Packers, I would, Rodgers, you're done for the year. If you want to retire, go ahead and retire. We'll go next year. But they need to see what they have in Jordan Love. I think they need to get Jordan Love playing the rest of the season.
Best quarterback in the North.
Best quarterback in the North, absolutely. After that awesome touchdown last night, easily the best quarterback in the North. Christian Watson, he could be pretty talented. I don't know what he'll be like contested catches. His touchdowns have come off of large yards after catch. He might be a good weapon. Maybe the Love Watson connection will be the next Rodgers Adams connection. I don't know, but it's nice to see the Packers have a losing record. Boy, it feels good.
I love it so much.
Couple salty boys here.
Oh, come on. There's no teams you don't like seeing lose. I don't want to hear it.
I mean, I've been getting to watch the Broncos lose like every week. So, yeah.
This has been a lifetime of watching Hall of Fame play on the other side of the ball.
Well, moving on, checking in here. The last game of the week is currently in progress. Pittsburgh is up. I think it's 23-17. 24-17.
And the Colts are driving.
Colts are driving. There's 2 minutes, 45 seconds left. It'll be over in a hurry if they keep running the ball with Taylor like that. So
there's two teams that can clinch the playoffs this week.
Who dat?
Vikings and Eagles.
Definitely not who that.
The Vikings, yeah. The Vikings, if they win and the Lions lose, I'm not sure what the Eagles situation is, but I would assume they're so far ahead.
It's a wild card team has to lose. One of the teams that's in contending for a wild card spot.
Okay.
It's a weird. It looks like all the NFC East is just going to wrap up the playoffs.
Yeah.
Unless something weird happens with, I guess Seattle is the only team that could catch it at technically this point. Our last playoff spot is going to be Seattle versus Washington for the last playoff spot. I'd prefer as a Vikings fan for Seattle not to make it, last time the Vikings played, the last time the Vikings were a higher seed and they played in Minnesota in the playoffs, Blair Walsh happened. So
Pete
rather
Carroll
not
just seems to have our number.
rather not have that happen again.
But it's something Clark and I were talking about it beforehand with the Lamar Jackson situation. That game with the Blair Walsh game, a lot of people forget Adrian Peterson had 2 fumbles that game. That lost both of them. So Blair Walsh was the only player that actually scored points that game. So sucked because it seems like all of our big games come down to a missed kick. But that game was kind of on Adrian Peterson, to be honest.
I agree. Yeah. Still hurt that kick was missed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And 9 times out of 10 he's going to make it, but obviously the one time he misses, it's going to be the biggest point of the season.
Well, I do believe that wraps up NFL Week 12 action. It was the John Madden Thanksgiving celebration week. It was a great time.
We should have had a teleprompter this week. Why didn't we have a teleprompter, Clark?
Boom!
With a little stylish and shit. Clark, do you have the updated tight end numbers behind you?
I do. Do you want to know how many touchdowns Travis Kelce has?
I'd like to hear.
He has as many touchdowns as Russell Wilson has bathrooms.
That's
12.
Those listening at home, 12. Yeah.
He's got almost more touchdowns. He's almost got more touchdowns than the people behind the Andrews, Kittle, and Hawkinson.
Yes, Mark Andrews is still sitting at 5. He's been injured the past few weeks. Mark Andrews does have 52 receptions in his limited time. Travis Kelce sitting at 73 and 912 yards, almost close to that 1,000-yard season again.
He'll get it.
We got George Kittle still out a few weeks. Last week was a big week for him. He got a couple touchdowns, which moved him up to 36 catches, 450 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And then we got the Viking man himself, T.J. Hawkinson.
My boy.
A little bit. He had big yards in Detroit. He hasn't had the same yardage since he's gone to the Vikings. He's got the same number of catches though. He's had 26 catches for each team. It brings up to 52 at total. Yardage is at 587. 397 of those were with Detroit, and then he got a touchdown with the Vikings this week. Number one.
Big news, by the way. Mahomes just had his baby.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
We just announced it on Twitter.
Dude, it couldn't have happened on a better day. Now he's got all week to acclimate, get in touch with his new baby, be ready for week 13. Thank God. Oh man, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
I was worried about that. I was worried because she was due like on the 2nd or something like that. It's like, oh man, what if she goes into labor like that night? Is he gonna play? I have no idea.
I couldn't play. I don't know. That
was O'Connell had their 4th child on Thursday, and the very next day flew to Buffalo. Mm-hmm. Or no, had on Friday, and then the very next day flew to Buffalo.
Yep. Oh, that's great news. I'm happy for him. That's kid number 2.
Loved it.
Got a little baby boy bouncing around now.
Kelce and Hawkinson are leading in the Pro Bowl voting.
As they should.
1 and 2.
And the Minnesota Vikings have the most Pro Bowlers, I think, right now, voting wise.
I think so.
It's because there's some
that?
idiots. There's some. I don't know how Chris Boyd is even in contention for.
Is he really?
He has got a lot of votes, man.
He doesn't even play corner.
I voted 20 times for him. I'm not kidding.
He doesn't actually play corner. He's this guy.
I mean, the Vikings have like 6 or 7 people in contention for the Pro Bowl right now. I mean, none of them will play in the Pro Bowl, but it's fine.
Yeah, we'll be in the Super Bowl, so. Yeah.
Well, let's wrap up the NFL action here with that amazing news about Patrick Mahomes having a second kid. With the movie Minute, Andor finale. Ryan, did you tune in?
I watched half of it, and I haven't finished it yet. I will. I just didn't get around to finishing the second half.
I thought it was a good wrap to this season. I feel like it all came together when it needed to.
Yeah, it's good. I look forward to seeing it.
I really enjoyed it. Dylan, did you watch Andor?
No.
Star Wars.
Oh my gosh, Matt Ryan just fumbled. Sorry.
Are you a Star Wars fan?
A big Star Wars fan. Yeah, I just haven't watched Andor yet.
Okay.
I heard it's like the best series on that Disney's released for Star Wars.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I liked it. Ryan would
It's-
say it's Mandalorian, obviously.
I would say
but
Mando and Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan was so good.
I put Andor right there in the mix with him, though. I feel like it was a great show.
I thoroughly
I loved it.
enjoyed.
It's just too slow and boring for me.
Yeah,
That's
there's
just-
no
I need
light
more
story.
pew pew in my Star Wars.
Couple more pew pew. You need a couple more of those too.
I need more of that.
You'll get plenty of that this finale. Don't worry.
Have you watched more of it, Bryant?
Not yet. Modern Warfare, Gold Gun grinding. That's where I've been
given up.
lately.
Well, let's move on. Let's talk about Call of Duty. Somebody says there's a spinoff coming.
Of Ghost?
Looks like that's the rumor. Well, the character Ghost. Like, I don't know if
okay.
it's gonna be
Listen,
if it's gonna be like
Is it like a
A
limited series
prequel?
show, a game? What's it gonna be?
it's gonna be a game. It's gonna be a campaign. So I don't know if it's going to be a prequel to why he became the Ghost or what, but yeah, that's what the rumored possible DLC for season 2 will be. Campaign.
I thought
DLC.
it was Call of Duty Ghost 2, and I was going to be so ecstatic. I'm one of the only people in the world that love that game.
for multiplayer or campaign.
Multiplayer.
Yeah,
feel
It was
like this-
very. It wasn't bad.
I feel like the current Call of Duty's multiplayer has me hooked. Like it's solid. It's great.
Way better than
I feel-
last year's.
I feel like some maps, get some better maps in there, a couple quality maps hit. It's going to be definitely up there top.
Yeah,
Steelers win.
and to be honest, if you're playing objective games, they added shoot house in there, so people that are just grinding guns can all go to that. And then if you want to play the bigger maps and actual objective and doing that, you can. You know what I'm saying? They've kind of. It's not quite ranked play and then public lobbies, but it's close.
Close.
Yeah. Well, now that we have Twitch going, you guys are just gonna have to get awesome setups and show your grinds, your grinding gold weapons.
Sorry,
Yeah.
the best they're going to get is this camera in front of me, and it's going to be sitting off to the side. That's about all I can technologically do at this point. And Steelers just covered. Steelers win 24-17.
Yep.
Woo!
Okay.
Give me that money line money,
Fella.
baby.
Kenny Pickett finished with over 25 rushing yards. Good.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, when Kenny Pickett's covering or is the quarterback, that's where I took the extra 2.5 points. I don't trust him to just flat out win. But
I don't either, man. His small hands can't cover that much.
no.
The
That dude does
last
some awesome half slides though.
Yeah. One week later, they said that shit is so illegal. We immediately, no one else can do it again.
last item in the movie minute. There's a movie I do believe Bryant is looking forward to.
Oh yeah. Do you have that picture? Can you,
I do.
Can you share that onto the screen here?
Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear. It's coming up in March, I believe, next year. Look at that in all its glory. Like if you've ever seen the
there we
meme
go.
of the bear covered in snow, that does I fucking love cocaine. That's all this movie poster is. But I
It's
love it.
inspired by
Tyler-
true events.
I'm excited with his cast too.
Yeah, I mean this is the late Ray Liotta, from Goodfellas and all these great films from back in the day. He unfortunately passed post-production, so this is going to be the last film he is ever in. So I mean that if you're looking for star power, this isn't a Sharknado 2.0. This has Ray Liotta in it. So,
Oh my god, this is actually real.
this is a real film coming out.
I'd pay to see that live.
The synopsis of it just says it tells the story of a drug runner whose plane crashes with a load of cocaine that's found by a black bear who eats it. Simply put, if you want to watch a bear go fucking crazy on cocaine, this is the movie. For
Dude,
it.
I'm absolutely seeing this in theaters immediately.
Yeah.
This looks like it's going to be the film of the year.
Oh,
This is the
Whoa,
most
whoa, whoa.
excited
Looks
I've been about a movie.
Let's
I'm glad
not
you
get
brought
ahead of
this up,
ourselves. Violent Night is coming out, and that's going to be a great film.
It's true.
Violent Night.
Is that coming out this year though?
I think so.
Oh,
Yeah.
If it comes out this year,
Yeah.
then Cocaine Bear can still
It's
take
this
next year.
weekend. Violent Night comes out this weekend.
See, it can take this year, and then Cocaine Bear can take next weekend or next year.
Yep.
are we doing a Violent Night review? Is that in theaters or is that on Netflix or something?
I think it's theaters.
I think it's
I'll have to-
theaters.
I'll have to
I
look
can
at
honestly
it.
say that's one I won't pay to go see in theater.
I've seen
See it?
worse in theaters, so I might go to see it. I don't know.
Dude, I saw Aquaman in theaters. I've seen. There's not a movie that can top that. That was
Yeah.
a terrible movie.
Well, I
I
don't know
saw-
if you know a lot about. I don't know if you know a lot about me, Dylan, but it seems like in my older age, I'm starting to go to a lot of movies late at night, and I just fall asleep in the theater if it's
Dude,
bad.
I'll go at 12 a.m. during the summer and I'll fall asleep. Those seats are too comfortable.
Yeah, and then of course I'm sitting here and I don't know if my keys or something hits the heated seats. My buns get warm. I'm just getting all cozy up there. I usually wear my jumpsuit or the tracksuit when I go in, so I'm already comfortable enough as is. Let's slip my Crocs off. I have a good time.
Darn right. Can't
So
do
I don't know
better than that.
how real this is, but I keep on seeing an ad for a movie called The Mean One, and it's a parody of The Grinch where the Grinch turns into a killer. It's a slasher
real.
movie.
It's
Yeah,
Is
I
it?
did see. Oh,
coming out
also-
in a week.
Huh.
I did.
That
I
one
did
might
just
be
see
classic.
the preview for that. Also, there's a horror movie with Winnie the Pooh that came out because it just became public domain. Did that already come out? I remember
I
seeing
don't
it.
know.
No, it's coming out next year. It's called Winnie the Pooh: Blood and Honey.
Blood and Honey.
Comes
Which
out
I'm
February
hoping-
15th.
I'm hoping they'll just take. Oh no! I thought they were gonna just play on Christopher Robin having schizophrenia, but I guess not.
No, but just a couple looks like a couple fat guys that wear a mask and they kill people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. Oh, Christopher Robin and a group of young women. Oh no!
Pa-
This looks
Patrick-
like
Bronze Levon Mahomes. What is bronze? Is that his nickname or something?
It's not gold, I can tell you that much.
Uh,
What was that
Pat-
name?
bronze. Like,
Did you say
Yeah.
Patrick Bronze?
yeah, this kid's
LeVon?
already got a chain probably worth more than what I got in my savings right now.
Probably.
yeah, he does. Patrick.
I
It's
thought-
so his nickname's Bronze.
Yeah.
Okay.
How did the kid get a nickname? He ain't even a day old yet. Old Bronzy, huh?
Patrick Levon Mahomes. If that's the next Chiefs, actually, that's the next Vikings quarterback in 23 years.
Mhm.
Well,
Keep an eye on
Patrick's
him.
dad was a Twins pitcher, so might as well go full circle.
He's going to the he can go to the NBA. That's the next one. They'll take over that many leagues.
It's gonna be a hockey
No,
player.
So like I would say, so his dad played for was it the Twins or the Rangers?
I think it was
It
Twins.
might have been both. I don't
Twins
know,
and
but I know
Rangers.
for-
I'm
I
gonna
know for
call it
sure
right
it's
now.
Rangers.
His son. Let's see. So they've got baseball and they've got football. His son plays basketball, and it's gonna be for some random like Charlotte, and he's gonna lead them to success. It's just gonna be some weird, not even following in the footsteps
Please.
of his dad.
Please, I'd be so excited about that.
You guys are all wrong. Uncle Jackson's gonna turn him into a ballet dancer.
There
All
you
right,
go.
we're,
Hey,
we're getting down a hole. I don't want to go down. Let's
Yeah.
just end it now.
whatever
Congratulations
he
to the
does, he'll
Mahomes
be
family.
number one ranked at it.
Tennis player.
Hey, I'm not. That's nothing. There's a lot of NFL players who are good ballet dancers.
Was it Barry Sanders?
Name one.
Barry Sanders
Name three more.
helps with
Bo Jackson. I know that.
You
That's all I can name.
You need two
That's all
more.
I got.
There you go.
Maybe Walter Payton.
So there's two of the biggest freak athletes of all time happen to be good at balancing. I mean that.
Who would have
I
thought
don't
it?
know, man.
Walter Payton did do ballet, and Herschel Walker.
There we go. So four of the greatest athletes of all time happen to be very good at balancing on their tippy toes.
I don't know if we're counting Herschel Walker like that, but okay.
All
Let's
right, we
wrap
better
this
end it.
up.
We better
Yeah,
end
I
it.
agree.
Brian,
All
you
right.
want to hit him with the socials one more
Yeah.
time?
One more time, I would say Instagram and Twitter are going to be at Heartland Pulse. And then for Facebook and YouTube, just do Pulse of the Heartland. And then I guess we're still trying to figure out what all we're going to put on the Twitch. But that one, if you want to follow us as well, is going to be Heartland Pulse.
And as always, you got to give them, whenever you're doing this, you got to give them the like and subscribe.
Yeah. Click the bell. You'll hear our shit when it comes in. Yeah, no, I would say like and subscribe. And again, if there's ever something you want us to cover, definitely let us know. Hit us up on our DMs. Otherwise, we cover a lot of NFL. We do our Road to 272, which is coming up on Wednesday at 8:30. We do a live stream there. And then just as well, our college football stream, that one's starting to come towards the end. That'll be at 8:30 on Thursday. So who knows if we get more to it with the Twitch gaming. We've always been joking about that, but I'm sure we'll come up with something soon for it.
Are you guys going to do college basketball after college football?
I've been thinking about it, college football, basketball, and wrestling. Joey loves wrestling, and I kind of get interested in watching the basketball. I sent you guys the screenshot, which I don't know if
Iowa State won.
What's that?
Iowa State won.
Yeah, they beat number 1 UNC, and then they lost to North Carolina, UConn, and they're now ranked 8th, and Iowa State is 23rd right now. So we'll probably follow that a little bit, but yeah, I will probably continue it on in some form. Maybe not be weekly, but I've kind of enjoyed just doing the college stream bullshitting on Thursdays. So
Yeah.
All right. Well,
thanks
thank you
everyone. Enjoy. Yeah. Dylan, thanks for coming on again. I'm glad we could actually hear you talk.
Me too. I love it.
Well, and that's all for now. Till next week. Bye.
appreciate you guys.
See you.